Hi everyone, it's Samuel here again and welcome to another content of the Lex Society. Apparently we're doing something different today. I mean, the atmosphere itself is different. So we have a great leader with me today, a CEO, and we'll be talking about business, law, and the life of a CEO and establishing a business in North Cyprus. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Mr. Drumrolls?
Jeremiah Godwin.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Jeremiah Godwin. I mean, I haven't put the name Godwin though. That's an interesting one. Anyways, can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
All right, I'm Jeremiah Godwin, co-founder, CEO of Greep. I'm a Nigerian, born in Lagos, brought up in Lagos, lived in US for a while, former in Cyprus. I have an associate degree in cybersecurity, BSc of MIS, and then BSc of CIS and masters in MIS.
Interesting.
So yeah.
See, as you're introducing yourself, I mean, I cannot help but ask, you were living in the States.
Yeah.
And now you're in North Cyprus.
Yes.
I have a company in North Cyprus.
Yeah.
So why North Cyprus? I mean,
it was not planned.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't actually.
Interesting.
I had to move from the States here. It was my choice, basically. I felt led to do that. And then when I got here, I saw so many problems that needed to be solved, and I picked one problem. And
so, Mr. Godwin, I cannot help but ask, can you give us a little introduction about the company itself, Greep, the inspiration behind the name, and how have you been taking grip of business here in North Cyprus?
All right. So Greep, the name came about trying to conceptualize the idea of, powering African businesses in diaspora. So Greep was basically to, we're like, okay, we want Greep to hold all these businesses together. And so Greep came about. So initially it was GRIP, but then when we tried to get the domain name, GRIP was taken. So just created GREEP.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Moral of the story, always check your company name, register it before starting up a company. I love that actually. And I actually have a series of questions I would love to ask you. I mean, I cannot help but wonder, how does it feel to be a CEO? Because coming from a student like me, CEO comes with a big responsibility, the pushing the money, you know what I'm saying? So how do you handle the pressure? What comes with being that position?
So I think the really fun thing about being a CEO is when everybody calls you a CEO. Aside that, I don't really see much excitement about being a CEO because, as I said, has a responsibility. There are sleepless nights. There are nights where you are in doubt. Fear. You deal with the fear pressure. Also, leading a whole team. I think the entire group. We're more than probably almost 40 people. Actually.
Wow.
Yes, so there's so much pressure that goes on it. But ultimately, I think the title comes with responsibility and also selflessness to lead, to put people and the vision of the company even above your own needs, right? So it's a very humbling position. But I think because of how we see the media and people portray CEOs and you see them, but it's very difficult. It takes a lot of years to get to that place where people are trying to glamorize the position, right? Yeah, so I think one misconception is it's not glamorous at all, right? At least not in the first 5 to 10 years, really.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So to really be a good CEO is to be selfless, I think, altogether. To power a vision is selflessness.
Interesting. So what is Greep as a company all about?
So Greep started in different phases. Firstly, as a logistic company, and the idea was basically to empower as much people as we could, right? Because we started Greep because we saw a lot of people on the island not having access to jobs. And then it came about trying to solve that problem. And it's expanded because we had the vision from the start. Even if we didn't start out with powering businesses, but we started as a logistic company, still powering businesses, but as a logistic business at the beginning, and then expanded to delivery, to a market, and then eventually to a fintech, a company that it is today. So it was basically a progression of an expansion of the vision that we had at the beginning and different layers to it. Yeah. So we from day one thought global. So I think that's why we were 3 years actually. And I think that's why we moved so quickly, so fast, and expanded so wide, because we are thinking global, not just North Cyprus.
That's interesting. So what was that, or what is that one decision that turned the company all around for good? Like, what is that decision that, moved you from where you were before to where you are now that you made?
I don't want to go to spiritual. I mean,
we're Africans. We got to think about it.
I mean, most of my life has been about my relationship with God, honestly. I don't want to make this so much of a Christian podcast, but
all right.
He had basically always showed me what to do next, right? And then there are a few milestones that happened that changed how Greep became Greep. Firstly was how we started, and the kind of co-founders I met along the way, because my co-founder Wisdom, Godwin, I met them in Cyprus, right?
Wow.
And when you just see people and know that you're supposed to do something, which is why I tell people, don't despise the bro beside you. There might not be much to that person, but eventually so much has God put in that person also to help you to achieve great stuff. So I think first it was how we started, picking my co-founders. And secondly, I would say the courage to also register the business in Cyprus. Because some people do their business on the ground, but when I thought about it, if I'm going to be a safe haven for Africans in the diaspora, I have to come correct. I have to go through the books, right? So registering the company was a lot, because we had heard so many bad stories about other companies, and so many people advised us against it. There was so much money, and we owned it without even a Turkish person, which was a decision that I decided that, what we have to do, no matter how much money you have to spend, right? So I think that really gave us a lot of edge to really come out big and do what we want to do without having to worry about what did the government catch us or what the government did catch it. Exactly. And I think the last one was trusting people. I think a big part of Greep is the trust that we have put in the team.
Okay.
Right? Whether it's holding the finance of the company, or whether it's like Divine handling our compliance, right? Even without knowing much about, tech, but having to learn and build from us. Whether it's Miracle, handling the growth part of the business, or Clinton. So trust, actually, which is not easy. I know it's not easy for people to do, but
yeah,
I think those 3 things were what really, I would say, really changed the entire narrative.
Wow, that's actually impressive. I mean, as your name implies, I can see God winning in your company so far. So another question that I would love to ask is, what is the craziest moment you've had as an individual, as a CEO of a company in North Cyprus?
The craziest moments, moments. I think, okay, I have to think about it. I mean, the craziest moment was actually when we secured funding.
Wow.
Grant funding, actually, from a very big institution in the United States.
Wow.
And it was a very crazy moment, because we attempted to get that for about almost 7 months, back to back. And it required a lot of learning, a lot of building, a lot of learning about fintech in general, then blockchain in general, and carrying the entire team along that journey. When we eventually won, that funding, it was one of the biggest moments of the company, actually. So it was crazy, because it took a lot from us, time, dedication, but then eventually winning it really felt like a surreal experience, right? Yeah, we'll see.
Interesting. That's impressive, and I'm happy to hear that from you. So what are the tips you can give for our legal entrepreneurs, our students looking at you? What are the legal tips you can give them, or the tips from your experience you can say to our students and the audience watching us right now?
Okay, so I'll start from something that might not be so conventional to legal, but I would say, if you're building anything, the first thing to worry about is who you're building with, because building a company with somebody is like a marriage.
Interesting.
All right. You must think 10 years for that person. So, and one of the most common reasons that businesses fail is founders fight. Right. So if you don't want to take each other to court, pick someone that you could go 10 years with. Then secondly, I would say have the proper the law compliance. Basically, wherever you're building, understand what the law thinks about what you're doing, so that you don't invest so much money and time and then get cut, off. I would say also get people that are. I mean, if you're starting out, you cannot hire a lawyer, but if you have a friend that's very studying law and has a very good knack for it and loves to grow and wants to do something great, it's good to carry that person along, right? And get that person the room to guide you, even in their own inexperienced way. Because if the person is really, loves the law, they will pick it up quickly and they're able to help you, as opposed to you paying thousands of dollars to hire a law person. Have your founder agreements, right? Your privacy policy documents, every document that you need, that in this country, the law requires me to have it in place.
What are the documents? I'm sorry for cutting you off. What documents?
Depends. So for tech, you want to have your incorporation documents. Okay, you want to have your licenses.
Okay.
If it's fintech, you want to have your MBS license.
What's MBS? Sorry.
Money business license.
Money business license.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Money business service license.
All right.
Right. So there are a lot of them actually.
Okay.
And you want to have those in place. You also want to have your privacy policy, your terms of service documents. You want to also your KYC too, because when you're running a fintech, know your customer.
All right.
KYC, there's KYB, know your business.
Okay.
And the reason is because when you are running a payments company, the law or the government wants to know who is spending what with you, because of fraud cases, money laundering cases. So you want to also have your anti-money laundering documents also.
Speaking of that, I have a question with anti-money laundering, but continuing, how are you?
Yeah. I think you just want to know what you're trying to do. Make research about the country you're trying to sell your business in, and make sure you're compliant with every law in place. Now, sometimes when it comes to fintech, the money is a lot when it comes to trying to get licenses. You need to be liquid enough to, but there are ways around it, like partnering with the rights. So your partnership agreements still needs to be partnering with people that have licenses. They can protect you for a period of time while you get your footing.
Interesting. So young entrepreneurs, please work with your law friends. Work with your law friends and also be protected. Protection is very important. I'm really grateful for you giving us this insight, and I would just like for you to shed some light on, in 2025, it's a world where there's content creation, there's this, there's that. What advice can you give to young entrepreneurs that are coming up on how to cope with the current state of things in 2025? Because as the world progresses, there's a lot of challenges being faced, and I won't lie to you, it's hard to hold the business. So from your own personal experience, what are as a tip you can give to our entrepreneurs out there and students out there as well?
For how to run a business?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I think first of all, I will have to start by doing first your research about the markets and about the problem you're trying to solve for. Not every idea that sounds good is a good idea. Okay. So you need to validate your idea, So don't go about trying to build something big. Start small to test. So in the tech industry, there's something called the MVP, most viable product, meaning the smallest, most unscalable product you can build to test in the market if people really want to buy what you're selling.
Interesting.
Right? And then when you get that in place, then next thing you want to do is get the right team of people. And because you're small, you might not have the money to, hire experienced people. So you want to look out for people that kind of have the knack for what you're looking for.
All right.
Right? And if you can pick they're a good team, it's much easier to build the team than to build alone. The reason is because, they say if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with people. So, and the reason is because there are going to be dark days, really, very, very terrible days that will come, and you will need somebody to believe when you don't, because that happens a lot. Even if you are the pioneer or the visionary of the company, sometimes you really might want to give up, and the next guy will be there and say, actually, it can actually work. Just try again. Also, you want to get very smart with your money as well. You want to be as frugal as possible. You can't really build something really great and you're thinking of looking, rich and balling. No, you have to be frugal. Even if you have a lot of money in the bank, you have to keep your expenses very small.
All right.
Right? Because the business needs it, right?
Yeah.
And since you're betting everything on the business, you need to give the business all the financial attention that it needs and not your financial attention, right? I'll also say you need to be fearless and optimize for faith and not for fear, right? And that's because as an entrepreneur, that's basically what you're supposed to be doing. So even if there's a 20% chance that it might work, you have to take that 20% chance as opposed to the 80% chance that it might not work.
Interesting.
You want to also you want to always be on the side of what if it works? What if it works? So that's what the whole entrepreneurship game is about.
All right.
And I will also add you need to be very selfless. And the reason is because you can't really build with people and the sense that you're a greedy person or you're a selfish person. So you have to be a giver. You have to give your time. You have to also give your resources to people. You have to, at the beginning, you might own 100% of the business. But a good business, you might not end up owning 100%.
Yeah.
Because you might have given some to investors, some to your shareholders.
Word.
And it's a good thing. It's a generous thing to do. It's a smart thing to do. There is one interview with Jeff Bezos where he said, people say what's 300 billion, but what they don't think about is that for me to have worth 300 billion, I've actually made 1 trillion value to other people, right? So if you think about it, billionaires are not actually as greedy as people think it is, because out of 100% of the company, they probably end up owning maybe 7 or 8 that now turns into those billions. But if you look at the other side, there's probably like 3 trillion of value they've made for other people. So as a founder, you must think that, which is why you can't think small. So if you think small, you'll be too worried about the 100% that you want to own. But if you think big, it can be generous, so that it can go far.
That's interesting.
Think big. You have to think big. Yes, there is no benefit for thinking small. That's what I've learned. The bigger you think, the more preserved you are. It feels risky, boys. It's more risky to stay small. Yes, because when you're small, it's easy to be crushed, to be killed, right? So you want to think as big as possible. When you do that, you create a wonder of possibilities that can happen for you. And as an entrepreneur, I think God is on your side by default.
What is the most underrated skill an entrepreneur has? Like, what is it for you in your experience?
So for me?
Yeah.
That will sound cheesy. I'll say love.
You say what?
Yes. I'll explain, of course.
All right. It is.
It's love that drives everything you do. The passion you feel, the decisions you make.
Love for money?
No. Love for money is there. Love for what you're building, love for the people you are leading also. I think for me, most of the energy I get from the people that I'm leading, actually. Because when God gives you such smart, talented people, you love them so much, so you have to do right by them. You have to do right by what you're building. You have to also live right. So love in general is what fuels the passion of if you love what you're building, if you love the people you're building it with, and if you can lead with love, right, in how you think of everything, I think it's very, very underrated skill. What most people think about the ambition, they think about the the other things, the hard work. But I think if you could build an incredible team where there's love in that culture, I think you can withstand anything, really. Because ideas change. But people, if you treat them right, they can go on a journey with you for 10 years and even pivot through different ideas. Because ideas are cheap, you know?
Yeah.
So I think if someone can learn to wield properly the power of love, I really believe they can do anything, really.
I would really love to have one of the employee here to give some comment about you, because it shows you have a good leadership skill. And telling me love is an underrated skill. I never thought of that. I was actually thinking of you telling me something like money management, you know, calmness, other things are coming to my mind.
You know, when you entrepreneurs are different, and they have different skills and different strengths. You can meet someone that's very good at money management, but that's not the reason why a company will survive, honestly. You can meet someone that is reckless with money and he will still be a successful company.
Wow.
Right? Because everybody has different strengths. If you can leverage your strengths,
okay,
right? You understand, you're self-aware enough to understand your weaknesses and leverage it, and don't be too insecure to let somebody else, you know, shoulder for you the part of the business that you can't shoulder. Right? Like me, there are a bunch of things I can't do well that people really do well for me, like miracle handling growths, you know, social media content marketing. She's far better than me at it, right? I'm a generalist, but if I was so focused on doing everything myself, you can't get here. You know, we have Divine that manages our compliance, Wisdom heads operations. So I think, well, I said love because love helps you to be self-aware enough to know how to delegate, how to empower, how to step back, right? So it's not really about, I need to learn this skill. No. It's about how can I position myself in such a way that people are happy to work with me, or people love to work with me, people are secure enough to work with me.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah. I mean, the way you mention names of your employees, I was even thinking love is also an employee, because send wisdom, send divine is a miracle. I was like, oh, interesting. Now, moving on to another question. So what is a legal problem you faced at the early stage, and how did you fix it?
So firstly, in Cyprus, registering the company was very hectic.
I
I
don't imagine.
It took us about a year to really. I mean, when they told me it took about a year, I didn't believe.
Wow.
But then we are done with everything. I'm like, okay, it's almost a year.
Wow. How many months can you give precisely, please?
I'm thinking 9-10 months.
Damn.
And you won't know when to take time, because at the beginning you will do it's a few fast at the beginning, but then when they'll get back to you, 2 months has gone. They'll get back to you, because there's so many processes that has to be in place, and even with the bank too, because registering a company is one thing, but then there's the bank side of it too. You know, you have to have a bank account, and the bank you have to deposit some money in the bank, and the bank has to approve you. And being in Nigeria, and so many banks will reject you.
Yeah. And
then go help you find the one that like, okay, wait, let's help you. And then aside that, when you now want to actually get like an office or rent the physical office, whether it's a market like in our case, now the municipality there also has to approve you. So it's not because registering is not even a lot of time, but just going through all the layers that needs to be, all the legalities.
All right.
So if you have a good accountant or lawyer, they should help you set it up properly. So you have to also be very close to your accountant, your lawyers, because they will help you see all these mishaps, even learn about the tax.
Okay.
How to make sure that as you're selling stuff, you are thinking about the tax you're going to pay eventually.
Taxation.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Sounds like a book scam. I think it's scammed by the government. It's really, can you help imagine?
But then, and then when we started Greep Pay, when I stumbled into the fintech space, it didn't really dawn on me how very compliant and very laws focused it was.
All right.
Until you cannot even do anything without having the right documents for this, the right agreements for that. Even when you're trying to partner with, so we have partnership with Flutterwave, Yellow Card, Stripe, all these big companies.
Wow.
And before they move an entry to you, they're gonna require a lot of documents for you. So you need to have someone in your team that's really vast in that area. All right. So make sure you're prepared. So I think that was the major thing, and also knowing that when you're trying to build a fintech, to really go big, it requires a lot of money because licenses cost a lot. Some are even almost $1 million.
TL, Naira, dollars.
Yeah.
And you did the currency. Yes. Oh, dollars.
Yes.
Jesus.
Depending on how deep you're going to go into managing money and everything.
All right.
Exactly. So yeah, you just have to eventually just still move with faith and courage that you figure it out along the way.
So I have 2 questions that is coming to my mind.
Yeah.
The first one is, can you give a skeleton process of how to register a business in North Cyprus? 1. And the second one is, as a Nigerian in diaspora, as you've already mentioned, the bridge your Greep as a company itself is trying to create. Now, do you think the new taxation law in our country, Nigeria, affects your company itself? Because I'm just curious of other business owners out there as well.
Yeah. So in North Cyprus, first off, I might not be exact because it's probably have changed.
Skeleton. Just skeleton.
But the first one is get a good accountant.
All right.
Usually I would recommend someone that has done it before. Like if you know a friend has done it before, you want to know who the accountants they used.
All right.
So it's usually go like this. Firstly, they'll ask for the passport number, a police report. You have to know if you've been involved in any shady things in the past, whether here or even back home.
All right.
They're gonna ask for police reports here, police reports through home countries. So they know you're cleared. Then aside your passports, they will ask for your address.
So where did they go to? I'm sorry. Where do you go to if you want to start? Like, where do I go to? Oh, if I want to register, I want to register.
No, you have to go through. You have to go through an accountant or a lawyer.
Accountant or a lawyer.
Or a lawyer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Exactly. So, I think the hard part is the depositing of the money. So there's a fee you pay, which is a lot, and there's a money you must deposit. I think about 10,000 euros per director you have in the company. It will be in the bank for about 2 years. Yes.
Wow.
And then when you show proof of that, they will take it to the next round, which is now trying to list all the things your business is doing or will do in the future.
All right.
So the accountant will say, okay, write as much as you want. So I want to do a logistics, I want to do this and app, whatever you write it there. And then the government will tell you which one is possible. I mean, I agree with that to push it to the next level. And then you might also need a bank account, right? Which also is not supposed to be a hard part, but for we Nigerians, it suddenly becomes
a hard part.
A hard
so which bank would you recommend?
Yes, the right bank is good.
Zero.
But right now they're a little bit biased towards Africans, so I'll still recommend each bank.
Yeah, why?
Right.
Why?
Yeah, so after that then you have to now face the municipality. So if you're like us now, we in Gunyeli.
The office is based in Gunyeli?
Yes.
All right.
Gunyeli has their own laws, their own requirements.
All right.
Now one very annoying part of it is that they will tell you to get the office first before you get approval. So
if it's not approved,
you just spend money, and sometimes you're already paying rent for like 2 months before they come and check it out. And they might come and check it out and be like, oh no, this is not a good office. Try in that office.
No.
So God has to help you to get it right.
Yeah.
Before you're approved. And then once you're approved, then there are just minor other things you need to get from them, and then it's good. I think this is the roughest estimate I can give.
Thank you. That's even articulates our own eye. So now moving to the second question. So do you think the new taxation law in Nigeria affects a business in diaspora, or as a CEO? Or either?
I mean, it's a Nigerian law, and I think it's primarily focused on how much money is entering your bank accounts, right? Which is not how it is in the US. In the US, it's different. In the US, the system there is very strong.
All right.
So when you get your salary determines how much they tax you. But in Nigeria now they're basically saying if you receive X amount of money at the end of the month, right? If it exceeds
this
a certain amount of million, then your tax is percentage. So it doesn't really matter if you are living out, as long as you are receiving money as a business, they will tax you. So if business is business just per and you're earning and it's entering the bank
in Nigeria,
abroad,
okay,
you don't have to worry about that. But then if it's coming to your Nigerian account, then you probably have to worry about it.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. But then I heard here also, as usual, everything that concerns the law, these loopholes.
Yeah.
So if you have a good lawyer, accountant, you should find your loopholes somewhere.
Hire a lawyer, guys. You need a lawyer. You need us. We are needed. I would just love to ask these questions. I mean, it's boiling in me. So, like, what is next for Greep Pay? Like, this is a new year. So, what is next for Greep Pay? What are you looking to?
Okay. So, Greep Pay primarily, our aim is to enable Africans spend African currencies globally, and also businesses in diaspora accept African currencies. Right. So, we basically want African currencies to matter in the global economy, not to be left out. So we are trying very hard to do that, and we are solving multiple problems under that layer. So firstly is to create I won't say really community, but create an economy in our app, right? So if you look at the app right now, you have so many businesses that are registered in the app, listing their products and everything. And then secondly, we'll probably launch cards for Africans in diaspora. So with your Naira, with your Ghana cedis, you could spend your Naira like dollars. So next year, we're planning to expand to UK and to Brazil before the year runs out. So I think that's probably what comes next.
All right.
So we're giving ourselves just less than 6 months to democratize the group around Cyprus and then move to other countries.
So as I was asking this question, something just knocked in me. Said, the goal is for Africans, right? It's to promote African currency, just like you said. So aren't we supposed to start this from Africa itself? Why are we starting in Cyprus? And the future you have for the company is extending to Europe.
Yeah.
So why Europe, America? So why not Africa itself?
All right. So just similar to like Afrobeats, right? Interesting. Why didn't Davido and Wizkid and Burna Boy stay in Nigeria or in Africa? Actually, the world knows about Afrobeat because they went out of Africa.
All right.
So you have, white people dancing to the songs and global. It's similar. If we want the currency to be taken seriously, it's not going to be back home. It's going to be outside, right? So, and then you have a lot of Africans now that have traveled out of the country that still send money home and still receive money from home, right? So we are focused on diaspora markets, right?
All right.
So basically, Africans out of
Africa. Yeah. Word. So my last question for the day is, what is one message you have for students and entrepreneurs out there that I can give them and give us?
All right. I would say I used to be a fan of like school is a scam, but school is not a scam. But you have to look at it like this. What is school for? I think the idea of school has changed from how it used to be. Right now, school is an avenue to meet like-minded individuals, right? School is an avenue to network and to really challenge yourself, right? So it's not really about how hard the course is. It's about challenging yourself, building mental strength, and knowing how to collaborate with people. You see Mark Zuckerberg dropping out of school, but for building Facebook, he met Eduardo, in the mix, and they built a $1 trillion company.
Yeah.
And he dropped out, but then he can't say school is a scam, right? Because it was in that school environment, he was able to harness this with a friend.
Yeah.
So I think school is for meeting cool people. So when you are in school, don't just be that book person that thinks your brain, your memory will take you. No. Most importantly, learn to collaborate, to network, to challenge yourself with people. And while you are in school, start thinking of how to solve problems that interest you. And I think if you follow that trail, you are likely to stumble on something very good. Also, I would say learn to be very self-aware as a person, because the majority of the things you accomplish will deal with fellow human beings like yourself. Do you understand? And you need to understand who you are, understand your weaknesses, your insecurities, so you can work well with people. Because the majority of what you're going to build is going to be with people. It's a people's game. Life is a people's game, right? And read a lot. When I mean read a lot, I mean like the things that are stopping you are most likely the things you do not know. And that's just the truth about it.
Word.
Money follows information. Information is power. So, what's stopping A and B is just something you don't know. So get curious, right? And begin to read things that actually counts in terms of what differentiates you between A and B. So always find and optimize for the differentiating factor all the time. So what do I mean by that? If you're in school and you do what everybody's doing, go to class, study school, pass your exams, nothing much is going to change in your life generally.
Interesting.
But you must look at what makes me different, right? And read, since I was 17, I read books that were very, very outside the scope of school, right? And I think that's what has shaped me in a large part in how I think about many things, even problem solving. And get good at solving problems. Get very good at solving problems. And you can learn to solve problems by reading, by listening to people tackle problems, right? Because it's what the world is about. It's about solving problems, about business and everything. And lastly, I would say, put God first, people second.
God will.
Yes, and that's because there's a lot God can do for you and so much you can help you accomplish if you allow Him. And then put people second. People will always be more important than money, right? And the reason is because people carry so much resources, so much power, that money can never give you.
All right.
So that's the best leverage.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Deep down, I low-key feel bad having this video after I've graduated. I mean, I could have learned a lot from you. I've learned a lot, but I could have implemented what I've learned in before graduating and also develop more. But I'm really grateful for having you here today. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What are your top 3 books?
It has changed over the years.
Yeah, but just real quick, top 3 books.
Top 3 books. Yes. 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Right? And second has to be Hatton About Hattons.
Hard tales about heart.
And then thirdly, I'll give it to 21 Laws of Human Nature.
There's a lot of controversy about that book though.
Yeah, it's a good book. Yeah.
That's interesting. Thank you so much for having you here once again, Mr. Jerry. Today's content isn't just about business, and it's also about learning a lot. And we're really glad to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jerry, once again. And guys, please, as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And also follow Greep Pay on Instagram. You can also follow Mr. Jerry. His name is one of the crazy ones. That's an interesting username. So follow Greep Pay. Use the app if you're in North Cyprus. And thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more content.